Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I am Mr. C, a Roco critic. How are you doing? Back to back. If you're listening this week, um, we are discussing one of the. Okay, you know what? I really do a good job introducing it in the podcast, so no need to regurgitate. We're keeping it short these days. I hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing Baby Farm. No dwindle, no dwindle. All right, let's start. All right. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood films or topics every Sunday, 6 p.m. What? Today we are discussing not a Nollywood film, I guess, technically a Nollywood TV series to celebrate the the escape from Geolog. Some Nollywood some Nollywood films have recently done Freedom and they've been set into the wild. And Baby Farm that was released a few weeks, I think, few months ago. It's April, right? It was April. Yes. Has landed in a few shows. Apparently not everywhere completely. Yes. So, but we'll be discussing what we liked in the good. We'll discuss what we didn't like in the bad. We'll disagree in the pushback, and we'll do a nice summary at the end. So, Vanessa, tell us what you liked about Baby Farm. Do Baby Farm. Do Baby Farm.
I don't know if that tune is appropriate for type of film this film was.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I had a lot of laughs in this. I had so many laughs.
Oh my days, guys. Um, to be honest, I put this thing on because I've generally no intention to watch this, but I put it on because I have begun the long and arduous journey of taking down my 1 million braids, and I needed something to accompany the process. Oh God, what do I like about Baby Farm? I guess Onyinye Odokoro. I will always like Onyinye Odokoro in anything that she's in. I don't think this is her strongest performance, but she wasn't by any means the weakest in this film. I think she was probably the only one doing some bit of acting here. I guess I like weird thing. I like the look of the hospital, the clinic, the farm, whatever. Um, the outside front of Sweet and Shiny, um, the hostel where the girls were in, the punishment room. I guess I just like the production value of how that looks. It looks like it's a building that's been planned for such nefarious activities. Um, what else did I like? Um, I guess overall, I kind of sort of liked the look of it. Oh, something else I really liked the Lungu, where what is her name? Onyinye's character. What's the girl's name again? Adanna. When Adanna first comes to Lagos and she goes and tries to find Obi, that the area that Obi supposedly was living previously, I liked the look of it. It kind of looked authentic, and there was a shot of her coming in, and I liked that shot a lot. Um, yeah, I guess that's all.
Okay, all right, thank you. Atas, do you want to tell us what you liked about Baby Farm?
Yeah, sure. Generally like this. I don't have, anyways. So I thought the story was relatively structured, okay, and relatively being in comparison to other series that we have watched. It maintains a tight subject matter, um, and doesn't really do too much as far as straying away from it, I think. And I think that episode one does a decent job of sort of introducing you to the characters and just easing you into what comes next. What else? I like that the white actors in this weren't the worst. I think a lot of other films in Nollywood that use white actors typically take the worst of the worst. And the doctors, Mr. Evans or Dr. Evans and his wife, eh, they were fine. The main character is also pretty good, I think. She was convincing enough. And I have very strong feelings about her continued existence, but that's for later. But overall, I thought she was good. And then I also liked Genoveva. I don't know how to say her name, but I liked her in this. I think she conveyed her character adequately enough, equal amounts creepy and pathetic. Um, don't know if that was on purpose, but didn't hate it. I think probably like her in this more than in other things I have seen her in. And then Rita Dominic, obviously gorgeous lady. Love seeing her face. Um, I guess conveyed childlessness adequately enough. I just don't think. Anyways, that's for later. But beautiful girl, woman, love her. And that's generally it. I like the story that's being told as well. I think it's important enough subject matter. I've heard some ramblings about it, about baby farms, existing in Nigeria. Can't confirm or deny whether it really happens or not. I'm sure it does. But I thought this captured sort of the essence of it well enough, as well as capturing the general spirit and lawlessness of Nigeria when he says later, money is, what does it say? I think he says, there's no law here, money is the law. And I thought that was adequately conveyed, even down to how they use the two main black or Nigerian characters, a nurse and I don't know if he's a doctor or ward or whatever he is, as scapegoats in the end. And the white people are basically just like encouraged to get away. Anyways, that was generally it. Didn't hate it. Actually quite mostly enjoyed it.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Atas. And Uti, do you want to tell us your feelings, the things you liked about Baby Farm?
Okay. Very, very similarly to what Ota said. I did actually like Baby Farm. I could get through it. I feel like they kind of, I guess, to a certain point knew what they were doing. And I would never ever give like white people like their flowers on here. But similar to what Ota said, I almost didn't watch this show because I saw like white people in front. I know like the white people that Nollywood always gets out, their acting is always like abysmal. And I was expecting the similar thing here, but I think they did pretty okay. I also really liked Genoveva here, and I think that was mostly it. It wasn't like I could get through it, so it wasn't too bad for me.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Uti. Vanessa, your hand is up. Is this more good?
It's
You want
not
to?
really, it's a good, but not really a good. I just want to shout out a couple of my YouTube Nolly babes that I saw in this. The girl who plays, is her name Aisha in this? The one who was the schoolyard bully. So glad to see her get a good job. I quite like her. She's a YouTube girly. I think she has potential, and I guess it was nice to see her in this. Also, another YouTube girly, the one who ratted on her for escaping basically twice. The other pregnant one who basically yelled when three of them were running. She's also another YouTube girly. Glad to see her get an opportunity outside YouTube. Very pleased for my girls. That's all.
Okay, all right. Let's just see. What did you like about Baby Farm?
So what did I like about Baby Farm? I should have probably rewatched it. But I saw you rewatching and I heard a line of dialogue and I left. Anywho, what did I like about Baby Farm? I think the other Uzamaka was in this, right? She played the Honor Higher. She played the person who didn't speak until the end. I think I liked her performance, her non-speaking performance.
She did not speak. No, she spoke.
She didn't speak until the end. No, that wasn't her. Sorry. I did like her performance still, but the other person who didn't speak, I also liked her performance. I want to say this, for the most part, is the most I've not liked Genevieve's performance.
How many negatives in there? What are you trying to say?
You understand what I mean. I also like that, again, for the most part, the core of the story, I like that it's based on something Nigerian. I like that it's based on something Nigerian. I think, like Otas was saying earlier, we've all heard about baby farms, and there's so much talk about it and all of that. So I think I appreciate them trying to explore baby farms, and I guess how someone could end up in one, although again, no experience with baby farms, right? It's not my side hustle of choice. But yeah, yeah.
Okay. What I liked,
It's a
I
crazy day when I have the longest bird on this face. Crazy.
I
Insane.
I haven't spoken yet. Maybe my lights will will be longer. Crazy that nobody mentioned Follistom's beauty. It's actually crazy but let it be known, I don't want to drag Follistom to any of you people on this space here if you can't even appreciate the beauty that is Follistom's. Junior,
Okay, we bought stocks many years ago. You are new to this. We're
I'm
truthfully.
sorry, your stock has expired. You did not renew. You did not renew. Is a shame. Playing a journalist again from Red Circle, but a different kind of journalist, to be honest, different-ish. But just will never not like seeing Foley Stamps on screen. Just very beautiful human being. I think I agree with Vanessa about the lead. I thought she was for what she was given, she did quite well. Vanessa and Natasha, I think they said this person who played Adanna. Yes, Genevieve, I think once in a while she dipped into annoying, but I thought this was a decent performance from her as well. I thought she gave her character some humanity, and I was able to feel for her character sometimes at crucial places. So that's well done on her. And what's the other thing? When Vanessa was speaking about the place Adanna comes, first comes in when she first comes to Lagos, there's this guy that toasts her, and he was hilarious. And he was obviously creepy and being a perv and intentionally creepy, but I thought that was well written, well performed, well delivered. He might be a creep in real life. He might have toasted some babes like that in real life, check him, but I thought that was entertaining. He said, come now, make we collab, find it. Bars. Anyway, I think that's maybe about it for me. And I agree with people's like the story generally is alright. I think it's the best story probably Mo has come up with from all her other things. Maybe that along with the wedding party, but wedding party is more of a premise than an actual story. But yeah, so yeah, I think this is also the least most offensive thing I think Bunny Live has done since wedding party for me. Least most offensive. So yeah. Anyway, let's see whether anybody. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I can say. All right, let's see what people are saying. All right, Snacks Season said likes. I thought it was more coherent than many of Nollywood's latest offerings. It was followable for the most part. I liked Nino Dokore in this and Genevieve and oh yeah, Ruby as yeah, Ruby Akubeze as well. They gave formidable performances. I felt like the settings were also very authentic. The English lady and man, full-time Nollywood actors. They are both couples in election, but
And she was in that
she was also in
something king, mask king.
Masking. She's a regular. She's a regular. I didn't know the guy was the guy from election, but I wasn't sure. But I definitely recognize the woman. She's established now. She's done either 3 or 4 Nollywood films now. She's a resident Nollywood babe. But yeah, all right. Let's move on to the things that we didn't like that. All right, Vanessa, what did you not like about Baby Farm? You do.
Um, can I say that it was boring? Because I was bored. I I don't know, guys. Sorry. I know that there were emotional beats to be hit, and some people did hit those emotional beats for me, and maybe sometimes I was like, "Oh, that's sad," but God, and I'm sure my saying, "Oh, that's sad," so blasé is like, "Oh yeah, it hits the emotion." Guys, yeah, it didn't. I didn't feel the things I was supposed to feel. And you know, I'm just gonna move along. You know how Funny Storms is beautiful, but okay, yeah. Let's not. I hate to say this because I love Folu. I think Folu's face is made for screen. I think Folu's voice is made for films. I think Folu is genuinely made for films if only the performance will match. I I struggled every time she was on screen. I'm like, baby, you're fine. Baby, you're meant to be here, but baby, you're not doing me justice. And you can thumbs down from now to tomorrow. But guys, if I had a dime for every time Folu Storms played an incompetent journalist, I will have 2 dimes. And while that may not seem like a lot, it is absolutely insane that it has happened twice. And I'm saying this because I genuinely, literally just watched Red Circle yesterday, and I still have PTSD. And then I have to watch Fulu Storms be another incompetent journalist. I'm sorry. I understand that she was chasing a specific story, but somebody comes and tells you my pregnant sister went into that clinic. More than 5 times this girl said it. My pregnant sister went into that clinic. She didn't come out. She said, how's that the story? The story is where is, what's her name? Cherise Abisharis. Money, are you really a journalist? Are you really a journalist? They are pointing you in the direction of a lead. You are there buying suya. Sorry, guys. I can't. I really can't. I just couldn't. Um. Also, guys, I understand that sometimes as a child you may feel like your parents will kill you, but I feel like we all know that our parents will not kill us, except your daddy and your mommy is a psychopath. Because no, I understand. Oh, my mommy will kill me. Last she will beat you. Last she will carry tray and slam on top of your head because she found out you were pregnant. That has happened to somebody before. But your mommy will not kill you. So
Sorry, everybody who has not watched Red Circle, close your ears. Did you not watch Red Circle yesterday? How can you be
that's why I
saying
said except
such?
your mommy is a psychopath. Is the mommy in Red Circle not a psychopath? Is the mommy in Red Circle not a psychopath? I said except your mommy and your daddy is a psychopath. Her mommy and her daddy, in the lead character, Adanna's mommy and daddy didn't give me psychopath vibes. They were they obviously disappointed that their beautiful, intelligent daughter was pregnant just before she could go into uni, or I don't know where she was going. Of course, they were disappointed and hurt. But I don't know, it was giving like when you are 10 years old and your mommy and your daddy say something to you and you vex and you carry your ngongo and say you are running away. Because I don't understand why she left home. I don't I don't understand why she left home. I'm not victim blaming here. I just think that premise is so weak that for the rest of the film, I was like, you do realize you could have stayed at home, throughout, I was just like, baby, you could have been at home. By now, your mommy would have been cooking you for nubu. I'm sorry. No, I couldn't. I was like, there was no reason for her to leave home. Obi disappeared in the middle of the night. You're going off of 2 sticks of what and saying you're going to go to Lagos to do what with whom and see whom. That whole thing. And then you walk into the thing and Ruby Akubueze says, baby girl, come up for here. You too, you allow them to shingbang your face. Again, no victim blaming, yeah? I just couldn't get behind. I just couldn't get behind the fact that she left home. In the middle, I'm sorry guys, in the middle of the night, she didn't leave a note, nothing. And nobody came to look for her, so perhaps maybe her mommy and her daddy are psychopaths. What do I know? Yeah, so nothing was, I wouldn't say actively offensive. Okay. I didn't like it very much, guys. I'm sorry. The scene, there's some guys, I barely remember anything when I watched it today. The scene where they were raping, again, I understand it's the reality of the situation we're in, but the scene where they were raping was, her name, Genoveva's character, Ebu. And the good doctor is forcing his wife to give him head. I'm like, what are we doing here and why? Why? There's other ways to show us that he has a hold over his wife. And I understand that she's his victim, but that doesn't change the fact that she's a perpetrator. She's a perpetrator of misdeed. You can't give me that scene now and expect me to feel anything for her. Even the scene where she sets him ablaze, sure, but like, I don't give two shits at the end of the day. I love Joseph Benjamin, another person whose face is built for screen. But I think Joseph has lost it, man. I don't know. Throughout, I was like, Joseph, you're annoying me. Get off my screen. And I do love Joseph Benjamin. I just think he no longer has it. I don't know. Or maybe, what's it called? Ebony Life cannot direct him, or whoever directed this cannot direct him, but he was also shooting Funke Akindele's film, and I don't know, man. Joseph was horrible in this. I think the way everybody died, I don't know. The fact that, and again, not to victim blame, but I don't think she should have survived. Adanna, that is. I don't think she should have been last girl standing, or one of the last two girls standing. You are just causing everybody to die. That poor girl that throughout she had kept mute. She had kept mute that I'm gonna keep mute until I execute my plan. You come over there with her. You led to her death. The same with Ebun. Ebun has escaped. Ebun came back to come and jump in front of Bullet. Guys, I just see, I wasn't invested in anybody's story. From the very beginning, I thought she should have stayed at home. So throughout the film, I was just looking at her like, whoa, yeah, annoying me, get out. Nothing about anybody struck an emotional chord with me, except for, a few moments where just on a general human empathy basis, I'm like, oh, that's a sad thing that's happening on screen. But from like an emotional connection to people, I had none. And for me, that completely just ruined everything for me. Yeah.
Try. It's okay. All right. Thank you. Atas, please tell us, what did you not like about Baby Farm?
Adanna, number one. Honestly, she is my main bad. Um, there are other things that probably would have bothered me more if she did not continue to be in this series. I just had a hard time focusing on anything except how truly stupid a character she was. Just from beginning to end, just continued idiocy from episode 1 to episode 5. It was baffling for me. I second Vanessa here. When throughout episode 1, I was confused, like, why is this babe leaving home? They didn't even beat her. They shouted at her a little bit, but other than that, generally just let her exist. She was still there. She was still fine. She decided she was going to steal money from some jar and leave the house and go to a strange city. It was baffling for me. And then she gets to Lagos, doesn't find the person she's looking for. Does she go back home? No. Decides she's going to be a maid in the city and homeless. Gets fired, doesn't go back home. Loses her housing, doesn't go back home. It just felt like she was making such extreme decisions in episode 1 that were based on nothing. And if the producers of this movie were going to convince me that those just decisions were justified, they should have maybe spent a little more time with actually making her suffer at home. If they had beat her and kicked her out, it would have made some sense. They did not ask her to go and find the guy. They didn't ask her to go and marry him. They just said, "Why did you do this?" And she was like, "Not feeling it. I'm going to go become a slave." And then she continues that decision-making process through the rest of the series and gets 2 people killed for no reason. No reason at all. Um, she starts I guess her baby farm adventures just trusting. Like she sees this random girl, decides, "Oh yeah, I trust her. I'm gonna tell her my escape plan." And then it's full the first time. She doesn't put 2 and 2 together. That the only person she told the plan to, I just found her really stupid. And even in the end, when she's escaping again with the mute girl, I don't understand how she thought 2 cleaners were going to walk out of the building with babies in their arms. Like, what was the thinking there? It just didn't make any sense. And so she just stressed me out. And that's my main bad, is that I was stressed out every time she came on the screen because I just knew something stupid was about to happen. Other than that, yeah, it was a bit boring. I did struggle with episode 2 and 3 a little bit, but it does pick up again. It's inoffensive. Hated the journalist completely. I was glad when she died. The scene just before she dies, where they're buying suya. This babe has told you about her missing sister like 5 times, and they're buying suya, and she goes, "What's my business with your sister? Abi, well, how does your sister concern me?" And I'm like, are these people friends? Are they enemies? Did they just meet? Like, what does this even mean for the general theme of the story? The deaths were a bit forced. Maybe not the last girl. I thought, what's her name? Genoveva's death was a little forced. She just dives in front of a bullet, and it was. It had moments of genuinely upsetting things, but overall, it was what it was. I guess. Um, but Adanna needs to die. If there is a season 2, I hope she doesn't make it past the first episode.
Wow. People campaigning for Adanna's death like this. It seems like we have a problem with protagonists. All right. Okay. Iti, please tell us what you did not like about Baby Farm.
Okay, so Baby Farm for me, for a very Nigerian like story and like for a Nollywood for a Nigerian story, I felt like there was a big non-Nigerianness to it. Like I remember I kept watching it. I'm like, this movie is shot in Lagos. Like they did not tell me it was shot somewhere. It's shot in Lagos, but like so many times I was like, was it actually shot in Lagos? I don't know why, but I felt like that. There was this shot with the couple going riding on their horses, and I don't know, it just reminded me of that movie. Is it Global Book? No, not Global Book, Black Book. And I remember hating like Black Book because of that, and it was a similar thing here. Sometimes I was like, oh, sometimes I was like, wait, so was this movie shot in another country, but they used like it was very confusing to me. Sometimes I also could not tell where we were. Like, was it past? Like, I know they didn't. Like, it was supposed to be present, but like sometimes, especially like with the nurse's hair, I was like, where are we exactly? Um, yeah, so it kind of confused me for a bit, which is funny because like I don't think the movie even tried to confuse anybody, so I don't know why I was confused. Second one, I hated Full Storm's character. I don't know, like I was trying to debate if she was so good at acting that she irritated me, or she was so bad that it annoyed me. I think it was the latter, because I was out just like I was very happy when she died. I actually said thank God because it was very very annoying. The third thing for this movie, I was very confused when M's sister, I can't remember her name, when she went to go and meet Rita Dominic, and she told Rita Dominic about how how like it was a baby factor. I was very confused because I thought Rita Dominic knew. I was like, where did you think you were getting the babies from? Like, I was so confused with that because it's like, what do you mean you go to a hospital manned by white people and they're telling you they're going to give you twins from mothers and you just assume, it's just mothers that wanted to give their babies away. So I was very, very confused by that. Even when the reporter she was like, wow, is it baby? I was like, what did you guys think it was? I thought her whole prognosing into Richard Dominic's business was because she wanted to tell the world that this woman was buying. Like, she literally said buying babies. So I was like, what kind of buying babies will not be exploitative? I mean, Richard Dominic did explain that she did not think about it, but I was like, that did not make any sense to me. And fourth thing, I didn't really enjoy Richard Dominic's and Joseph Benjamin's role in this. I couldn't relate to what Richard Dominic was going through. As I said, I even thought she was the one that killed the reporter. I thought she was a bad guy. Yeah. So I was just very confused when she was supposed to be innocent, just an innocent woman that was okay for a baby. But aside from that, I think it was
fine. I find this hilarious. Okay. All right. Mrs. C, what did you want to speak? Are you fine to know? What did you not like about Baby Farm?
So, I think the Baby Farm was, I did find, it really was one of the least offensive things we've brought out in a minute. My biggest problem, or one of my biggest problems, is what some people have said, is that it's quite dull. It was quite dull, and it shouldn't be dull. It's not a story that should be dull, but it was. Also, we really, really struggle to write. We definitely struggle to write journalists, because I don't know what on earth Folusom's character was supposed to be.
Anybody who's doing any investigation.
I have no idea what that character was supposed to be, and it was like, when she was murdered, I was like, I guess, yeah, that tracks. Shoot her in the head, shut her up. The character, obviously, because Polu is a beautiful goddess, stunning woman on earth. Keep her safe, but fuck that journalist. Which again, honestly, 2 for 2 for her journalist characters that I won't get, but that's beside the point. Anywho, yeah, it was just the worst. And again, I don't know, Vanessa mentioned this as well. I feel like they took, why did the white man have to be mustache twirling? It was just such a cartoon villain. And it's just, and it's not me that will tell them what to write, but honestly, it was so off-putting. It's like, honestly, a more effective villain, in something like this, is someone who believes they're doing the right thing. But hey, do you, right? But why is he so mustache twirling? Why is he watching videos of thread? Okay, cool, sure, yeah, whatever. That last scene we saw after he shot a boom, and he decides he's not feeling very shooty anymore, right? He's not run out of bullets. The person he wanted to shoot is still there, right? It's not like the police had overrun them, but now he shot one person, so he's chill. He's just gonna fuck off without the baby. And I don't know if this is a nitpick, but the whole Rita Dominic's character's twins plotline, I've never tried to adopt a baby, right? And maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But are you, right, if you're struggling with your fertility, you're trying to get a baby, you're trying to get an adoption, are you going it's twins or nothing? Are you going, I've always dreamt of having twins, and so,
I didn't think she did twins or nothing.
It just felt like the twin thing was such a lure. It was like, it's twins. We can give her twins. She wants twins. We can give her twins. They have a baby farm. Pick 2 babies and tell her they're twins. How is she gonna know they're not identical? Give her 2 children. The whole twin thing was crazy. It's like, we need her. She's special. It's twins. 2 children. Give her. But no. I don't know. Last, it was very much a no to think because, and I'm also actively trying not to think just surface level, and just let it go. Which again, surface level for a film about baby farms, wild.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Some people's dislikes. Okay, so Lamy says dislikes. Mostly Rita Dominic is in this It felt like she was forced to be there. I also didn't like how the characters seemed to be assigned a single brain cell each. The decision making was baffling. I felt bad for people around Adanna more than her in the end. The people around. All right, okay. Snack Season said, the Doctor was a cartoonish villain. A lot of the payoffs felt unnecessary. I know that the plot is grounded in real life and these things happen, but too many people died for Adanna and her babies. Why were they that special? Even the death of the Doctor felt eyes rolling. Lamy said, Fullistone was not in this place. That was her twin. God bless. Ricky said, that scene where the girls were punished for the main character, where the main character tried to run, they stole that scene too. But it's still too much from that movie. And Snack Season also said, I did not like Rita Dominick's performance in this. It was okay, but I've seen better from her, e.g. in The Trade. Some of her line deliveries were off. There was something weird about the sound too. Yes, there was a lot of ADR. Sometimes her lines sounded like they were coming from another dimension. Yes, because there was a lot of ADR. I guess bad ADR is what I should be saying. Ricky also said, I didn't really like the movie. Reminded me of the series The Handmaid's Tale, and they stole some scenes from The Handmaid's Tale and giving the girl's name like Mika, Ify, that was stolen too. Then the girls' uniforms too. Oh, is that where they were stealing from? Okay. Uchenna said it was super boring and really unpleasant to watch. The pigeon dialogue felt like it was authored by ChatGPT. Actually, all the dialogue didn't like how much Rita Dominic had the F word in her mouth. For this acting stressed me in this movie. I do remember.
Just remember, I was thinking she's saying fuck like she has never sworn in her life.
Yes. Yeah. That was very strange. And it occurred to me, I think that I don't think I've heard Rita Dominic swear before. And I don't think Rita Dominic has heard Rita Dominic swear before, judging by how it was coming out from her mouth. It did sound a bit bizarre. And it's not just her. I don't know whether it was her, or whether it was the writing, but sometimes the swearing was just in really random places, which didn't make any sense for us. You know, if you're somebody who, do like to use the F word, frequenter of it. All right. Okay. It looks like some people have second round to do of the bat, but let me just say my biggest issue with this that I guess hasn't really been mentioned, and it's the world of this baby farm. It's not coherent, doesn't seem actually that well thought of. People have, I guess, spoken about some things, but the world just not well thought of. And, Itzy said, yeah, and Otas mentioned that these things, we've heard of things like this. And for me, it seems like, yes, Mo and Co and all the people involved in the story have heard of things like this, but they didn't really know how to put it on paper. They clearly hadn't done enough research, or even if you don't know about it, like they hadn't thought about all the bells and whistles that would be surrounding a place like this. So, for example, how are you keeping these girls here? It feels like at some point they're trying to say they're being kept by their contract. They make a big deal about showing how, they're trying to get this babe to sign something, like it means something. And then later on, they're just gonna imprison her by force. It's like, what's the point of the whole, just kidnap pregnant people and put them, what's it doesn't make sense to have this, soft sort of touch at the beginning if everything's going to be held down by brute force, towards the end. It didn't make any sense. Then also the way the girls behave didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why everybody was so, compliant. It didn't make any sense. It makes sense if there was some sort of if there were a lot of carrots, something to work for. Like if they were doing that soft touch, a lot of this would have made sense. But if everybody's just really been imprisoned here by force. I just feel like a lot more people should be trying to fight and make their way out of
They
there.
got massages and they got to read books before her first.
Massages. The first.
Escape attempt. A lot of best escape attempt, they took everybody's books.
No. But the the point is they weren't allowed to leave. It was a prison, and they set it up a prison with massages. Yeah, the world just wasn't well thought of to me. The way they got the girls in versus the way they kept the girls in versus um sort of even thinking about like security around the place. It didn't make sense. Um
Especially because she
so
in the laundry
yeah.
and take it to the main gate.
Yeah.
The front door of the hospital.
It just, yeah, it that was the biggest issue, and like many people have said, it was boring, for the most part, especially in the middle. And the end is far from home season finale light. It's just everything happens in the end. It's actually kind of funny. That's where I found the most humor. Just everything happening because like we need to wrap it up and we need to like make things happen. That quite the third, curse act from that one. But yeah, this one was crazy. All right. It seems like two people want to go again. Vanessa.
Sure. I just wanted to emphasize on the cartoonish nature of a lot of the acting and a lot of by the people who are supposed to be like the bad guys here. The white guy is super cartoonish, as has been expounded upon by Mrs. C. Another person who was cartoonish was Tokpe Tedela, Nurse Chinedu. I have never seen a much more exaggerated, oh, I'm a perv who works in a baby farm character. And mind you, I don't know if I've ever watched anything about a baby farm, but like, all he gave was like, oh yeah, I'm surrounded by fertile pregnant women. So I'm gonna walk around like my penis is too big. Like, I'm sorry, what are we doing here? I was like, why is he making the faces that he's making? Sorry to Tokpe Tedela. This is another person who I loved for many years. I think Tokpe Tedela's name is perfect. I think the first time I ever heard Tokpe Tedela, I was like, is this a director? He's made for the screen. I saw him, I was like, oh, what a lovely face. Also made for the screen. But God, Tokpe Tedela. I've tried so many times to stomach a Tokpe Tedela performance and I can't. It just always falls short. You know, another cartoonish character, the main head of security guy who watches the tapes. There was a scene, was it in episode 1 or 2? I don't remember, when Ruby's character gives birth in the bathroom and they break down the doors and there's this look on his face. Also, he's one of my YouTube boys. I shouldn't say boys, he's been doing this for ages, even beyond YouTube. Like, he started on Iroko. Anywho, he walks into the frame and there's this look on his face that's like, you know when Doofenshmirtz is like rubbing his hands and like Doofenshmirtz is about to do something like Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated type evil? That's what was on his face. I was like, God damn it. Is this what we're doing? We're really going Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated villains. That's what we have here. I just all of it just is cartoonish. All of it is overly exaggerated. All of it doesn't make sense. The world doesn't make sense. Why is a celebrity as big as Cherise, who apparently is the first African to be big in the UK, having difficulty adopting a child? I'm so confused. So what is this influence that she has if she doesn't have any to be able to actually adopt a child legally, that she has to resort to buying a baby? In what world does she... Do you know what? It's fine. In what world does this blogger from a nondescript blog, she's not attached to any newspaper of note, she's not attached to a TV channel of note, she's just a random ass blogger. How does she have the access that she has to those rooms? And don't give me the crock of she bribes a waiter at a hotel. That is not what gives you access to press conferences, to awards shows, to ceremonies of this supposed 1% of the 1%. What access does she have? How does that make sense to anybody, to any bloody body. I just, guys, and this is my problem with a lot of what Nollywood does. Like, we just throw stuff at the wall and expect it to stick. You're not grounding any of these things in anything. You're not creating a framework for any of this shit to be believable. Like Mr. C said, you don't, and this is why Mrs. C is like, if you're gonna give me a villain, give me a villain who is pretending like he's doing this. And that is why the villains in Handmaid's Tale work, right? Is that they genuinely believe that they are doing the right thing, and that the women that they are, and that the women that they are taking are serving some sort of higher purpose. We don't have this type of villain here. So we also don't understand why the girls are so docile. You're not showing us that there is any type of emotional manipulation going on / mental manipulation going on. The only person who you people are saying you people broke was Ebun. And that's because Ebun has been there for ages. And you can say the mental toll of being raped repeatedly, because what you're telling me is that she's been raped repeatedly and she's giving birth repeatedly. She's been broken. And you've said Ebun has tried to escape. I will give you that. But for all the other people there, are you telling me if you are working on the premise that the rest of them have not attempted an escape once? So what is keeping them there? You are not doing any emotional manipulation. You are not pulling and buying them back in by saying, oh yeah, I'm going to give you special treatment if you tell me what is going on. Do something. Like, even with Aisha, the school bully, love Aisha. But like, why? Why was Aisha a bully? What was she was having sex with Nurse Chinedu. For what? I even thought there was gonna be a thought behind why she was doing what she was doing. And perhaps she had also been working on her own escape plan, and there was going to be mutiny in this baby farm because all these individual ladies had decided, even before Adanna came into the baby farm, that they were done and they'd had it all, and they were all having individually their own plans, and they come together and realize, hello, we are all planning the same thing. But her past, they were not. They were also comfortable. Slap her. What was that stupid scene? Sorry guys, what was that scene? Slap her. I was like, so all of you sat out there, you put the camera, and people thought that was a good scene? See, Bo, I'm tired. Beg.
Yeah. That scene, they didn't even say they have. Mrs. C was just saying, well, just slap.
Like
Like,
this is the thing they do regularly.
yeah.
Maybe this is why they're all docile, because when somebody tries to escape, they gather around and
I
slap
say
her.
slap.
The thing is that it didn't, again, like, why? Like, what has brought them to this point where it felt like there was a cult? Yeah,
like, where was the break? Because they call them makers.
Yeah.
Right? They're calling them makers. Yeah, do something, right? It was giving cult, but it doesn't seem like any effort has been made to brainwash the members of a cult. You've got to brainwash your cult members. You have to have them believing in your cause, at least some of them. Break them into believing. The term makers, it sounds like they are there for a higher purpose. Make them fucking believe it.
Yeah.
If not, why are you calling them makers? Just come in and say bitches.
Yeah, and now I actually understand, because I haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale, but given what Ricky's saying about stealing scenes, this makes sense, because I remember I think I've watched 2 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale, and that world is obviously much more well developed, and like how and what has been going on in that world for a long time. So it makes sense that if you steal from that, like, things aren't making sense here. But yeah, no. All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Atas?
Yeah, pretty much what Vanessa said. I thought it was weird how easy it was to convince Genevieve's character, I can't remember the character's name, Ebon, I think, that they were evil all of a sudden, because she spends the whole show just like sucking their dick, and then all of a sudden this person is like, oh my god, they flogged you. And it really made me wonder about the character building and the setup that they had done up to that point. Because what had Ebon seen for 6 years, where she's like, this is my family, this is my home, has she seen nothing bad happen? Where then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they flogged me and this girl says they're evil, so fuck my family. I thought that part was odd, maybe a little hastily done. And yeah, Rita and Joseph, for being the biggest name on this, arguably the worst parts, other than the journalist, of both the story and the acting. But yeah, I think Vanessa already really covered that. And it was also bizarre at the end. I guess the third act thing. They're just trying to close everything. But it was bizarre at the end where the journalist, or not the journalist, sister gives the bodyguard like what looks like 3K to break into what is a high class A-lister event. It was very stupid. Like when he opened the paper and I'm like seeing 500 naira notes there. It's not even a thick bundle. I was very offended.
That's funny. I thought I saw 1,009 notes, but points taken. It was a very slim envelope. In fact, it wasn't an envelope. I think it was
It was
a sheet
paper,
of
like she wrote paper,
a sheet of
and
paper
it's
just
not even
wrote.
one denomination. It's not like it was multiple 1,000. It looks like it was like a crumbled 50 naira in there, 500 naira note, 1,000 naira note, just like a jumble. Like you're bribing a gate man to enter a like local primary school. It was very offensive.
All right. Thanks. Iti?
Okay, so I think I had a question. I was still very confused about like Sharice's character and like with the reporter, right? 'Cause I guess she was trying to prevent the reporter from like not reporter. She said she was a celebrity gossip blogger, but from letting the world know she was either adopting or buying a baby. And I was very confused because I was like, this woman wasn't pretending to be pregnant or anything. So I don't understand. Was it just going to pop out with babies and people would just assume, like when people still assume that something happened and she got the baby. So I was very, very confused as to what was going on there. And I think I mentioned it earlier. Now I can actually tell why I felt like there was a very big, like, for a Nollywood show, there was a very big, like, non-Nigerianness to it. And it's like, from what I'm seeing, they have basically copied stuff, which is a very annoying, considering that it is like a Nigerian story. And I just wish that we do more like research and actually try to tell our stories our ways rather than trying to tell like a Hollywood version of a story that I've heard like is not popular but like is Nigerian. But yeah, that's what I've heard.
All right. Thanks, Iti. Just going to read a couple more comments. Ricky says that scene slap. They stole it from The Handmaid's Tale too. All right. It's beginning to make sense now. It really is. It seems like the Ella was borrowed and it's very telling. All right. Pushback, anything we disagree with? I'm kicking off. All of you that said anything against Follow-Stumps, people are blind. People don't see road. People whack out to all of you as well. Everybody involved. Follow-Stumps is perfect. Will be perfect. Always is perfect.
How
Back.
can you say that? Her entire
After my
character
day.
was based around a celebrity
What
adopting. She
task?
didn't
I
even know
said she
about
was
this
perfect.
Otas,
Bible. Her
Otas,
entire
don't worry
investigation was
yourself.
celebrities adopting babies. Oh my God, are you adopting a
It's
baby?
doable.
Wow, you're adopting
Wallahi,
babies. Wow.
Otas,
I was
don't
like,
bother
what are you
It's
yourself.
doing?
doable.
And we know, see, I just gotta say, I'm gonna throw back to Red Circle. Every time she was starting to annoy me. In fact, there was one time she was really annoying me and then she walked out in,
In
was
a
it a
mini
skirt?
skirt.
Hey!
Oh!
Never mind. You have done nothing wrong.
Otas, don't worry yourself.
You have done
Don't mind
nothing
this
wrong.
man.
I don't
No,
even
you
know
should
He's
why
just,
the
here
white
talking
guy wanted
about
to kill
beauty. He
her.
knows what Follow-Stumps put him
She was
through yesterday.
non-threatening.
Don't
Why did he
worry.
want to kill her? She literally knew nothing. She knew nothing.
Done.
the best line of this series as well, by the way.
Okay, what?
I can't remember. Actually, wait, no.
Wow, the best
It
line
was,
of the
wait.
series that you can't remember.
I'm not saying this series doesn't have a high bar, to be honest. We're not talking about Shakespeare here or Quentin Tarantino or, okay, but I actually remember something on the line. It was when, she was with that other babe that she didn't care about her sister. I actually love the way she didn't care about her sister. What a journalist. That's exactly the kind of journalist I want. That's the kind of journalist I want to watch. A journalist that doesn't care about human beings. But it was, a couple of guys were harassing that babe, and she said something along the line of, if you don't want them to, you don't want them to harass you with all this breast and yeah, lose weight. I love the way she delivered it. To be honest, everything she said was kind of spot on. Every time she looked at the camera, it was great. Every time, honestly, even the way she died was perfect. Go look at it. Go look at it. No, you go look at the way she died. Like what a dig. Just the way she fell down. Like just honestly, all of you that said anything against Fully Storms, even the person I gave backhanded compliments saying had to win, it was not all of you. Go out waka to all of you. All right. Okay. Any other pushback?
Yeah.
I did want to say one thing though. I feel like Felicito's character told us that she was only interested in celebrity gossip. So M's sister was not a celebrity. What's her business? She said it 3 times. So
Tell me, what's her business? Why are you mentioning your sister? She's probably dead. She's probably dead. Forget it. We're into celebrity right now. Oh. True fashion and lifestyle journalist. Let's go. All right. Not writing about the big stories unlike other characters out there. All right.
Oh yeah.
Any other
My pushback was on the contract thing in the beginning. I don't think the contract was for holding the girls. It was more to save face, I guess, if they ever got asked anything about babies by
Guys, not
whatever.
to do a little
Sorry.
DIY film watching here.
Wait.
But let me DIY.
Wait. Before you DIY, let me respond to Otasi's DIY just now. You don't need it. Like, if the police come and the girls are like, they've been keeping us here through brutal efforts beyond our will.
Not police.
No contract.
Not police.
It doesn't matter that you sign contracts.
Contract in 2022. But why is this bitch pregnant in 2025?
Because people like Richard Dominic and
Contract.
other people adopting who might care enough to say, oh, I just want to kind of show face that is above board. Because Richard Dominic herself did not know it was a baby farm, allegedly. I guess she just assumed it was adoption. So papers and a contract would make sense then.
Otas did not read the directions to the DIY. Let me help Otas to finish it. I get where what Otas is saying, but it's not for holding. The contract is not for holding them. The contract is to sign off parental rights. So that when the people that are buying the babies, they will say the mothers have signed off parental rights. So in that
exactly.
case, holding the babies is legal. It's not about holding the women, it's to give the babies.
Wait.
Now I'm DIYing, but let me now also rebut my rebuttal. See how DIYing a film is fun. So to rebut my rebuttal, is it that they sign contracts every time they impregnate the girl?
Every pregnancy?
Is it with every pregnancy that they sign off parental rights? Is it with every pregnancy? Because otherwise, it's pointless.
Mm-hmm. And just also, on the note of keeping things above board, there was this scene where a couple came to collect the baby and they asked to meet the mom to thank her. And they said the mother wants to remain anonymous and wants to keep her privacy. So people of God, tell me, these women are signing their names and shit, but they're saying they want to stay anonymous. They're telling the parents they want to stay anonymous. Their signatures are not being used for anything.
Yes. Also, people who are actually just doing slavery work through brute force cannot forge. They draw the line at forging signature. That's where they're gonna draw the line. They can't go, this is the paper they signed off. They need to, remember, because like, if this babe doesn't sign this contract, she's walking out the door. They're going to lose the person that,
the special one of holding twins.
As in, they almost lost the special one because of this, soft power they were using. Anyway, any DIY you want to DIY is okay for you. If it works for you, it works for you.
It's just to have a little fun, as the show was boring. I said, let me DIY my own enjoyment.
People could not DIY that Fully Storms was.
Unfortunately, some things are DIY.
Under investigation.
Unfortunately, I cannot DIY an acting performance.
No,
Unfortunately,
you don't know how to DIY a character that fits that performance.
I
It's
unfortunately
your,
cannot DIY an acting
your
performance.
imagination skills. All right. Okay. Summary time. All
Sure,
right. Vanessa, give us your summary for Baby Farm.
sure. Eh, this was a masterclass in poor decision making. From the very beginning, kids, don't run away from home. Your mommy and your daddy won't kill you, except your mommy and daddy are psychopaths. It doesn't matter how much you offend your mommy and your daddy, nobody ever die of insults. You chop the insults, but you stay at home. Don't run away from home, kids. Um, this was, unfortunately, was a boring and, as we've established, poor imitation of The Handmaid's Tale. There was a real story here. The baby factory phenomenon was real. I remember growing up hearing on the news, apparently there were raids of supposed baby factories. Now, there's so much that could have been built upon to ground this story in the Nigerian reality, but unfortunately was not. Um, a lot of the characterizations did not make any sense. The world building was non-existent. It all just felt unearned and completely unnecessary. But watch it if you are losing 1 million Brits.
We'll pray for you, that's for sure.
Oh, all right. Thanks, Vanessa. Atas, you want to tell us, give us your summary?
Um, Given the things I've watched this year and the other series that have been performed by Nollywood, this was largely inoffensive to me. Bit slow, but all in all, enjoyable. Um, there were some emotional moments overall concerning conditions, but the characterizations of the characters were not completely well thought through, starting from the lead all the way down to everyone. Um, yeah, that's really it for me, actually.
Okay. Thank you. And Uti, your summary, please.
Yeah. So for me, regardless of everything I've said, I actually still did enjoy this. I think one thing for me is, I think I've been saying it for a bit. I just want us to like just know that our stories are enough and just tell our own stories. I feel like every time we try to you like take from outside, it just ends up being a very poor imitation. And I just wish Nollywood would just, stick to like telling authentic stories and using our own reality. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Fair. Thank you. Mrs. C, your summary.
It happened. It was somewhat dull, but mostly inoffensive. So yeah, it's fine if you have time.
Yeah. Watch it for Fully Storms.
God.
Just watch it for Fully Storms.
What's it
Can't
for
ignore.
industry? Anyone else? A random person, the gates man. Watch it for the gates man. Anyone
I'm
else?
watching for the Gatesman. The Gatesman doesn't offer you anything. Watch it for Fully Storms. You'll be alright. Everybody, you'll be alright. Just watch it for Fully Storms. That's the only thing. Because everything else is just, nothing else for me was interesting about it. It was good to see, a couple of people in some roles. That was interesting. But as something as a series, another thing I forgot to mention my good actually was like, they tried in terms of episodic thing, it was cut okay. It's not like it's the best, but it didn't feel like a film. It actually felt like they it felt more like something that had episodes more than usually what we do, which is write one long film and just cut it at random places. But I just watch it for Fully Storms, if I haven't mentioned. All right, Fully Storms 2026. All right, thanks everybody. I think next week we're just going to either take a. Oh wait, is next week? Okay, next week is last one before we take a break. Before summer break. Summer break, 2 weeks of summer break, or should we even start from next week? No, next week we might do one last this thing where some of us might discuss Red Circle. So So yeah, next week we'll have one more hangout, and then we'll call it a couple of weeks break, and then we'll be back again. We can charge our batteries. But thanks everybody, and I'll speak to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.